Hello and welcome, and thanks for listening to Cli-MATES, an energy podcast dedicated to discussing all things energy, carbon, and sustainability. We also like to point out what's getting hot aside from our planet. I'm your host, Enya, and today I'm joined by not one, but two Cli-MATES and co-hosts, Kristen and David.
That's me.
So, Kristen and David, yes, who I'll be introducing shortly. Okay. But before we get into today's topic, how's your week been, guys? And can you tell me a bit about yourself? Kristen, can you go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. My week's been a bit full on. I'm off on Fridays, so everything's got to be fit into the 4 days. But my background, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I studied my Bachelor of Engineering and Mechanical Engineering at the University of Pretoria. And now I'm pursuing my master's in renewable energy and energy management.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a bit about me.
Very good. David?
Yeah, so about me, I sort of similarly to Chris, I'm off on Friday, so I have to fit my week into the 4 days. Fortunately, I haven't been as busy as Kristen sounds. I am a design civil engineer, specifying in geotechnical background, but I'm also still a student at Queen's, and I'll be going back to get my master's degree next year.
Wow, very impressive. And how long have you guys been in this sector?
Well, so I've been working full time for a year and a half now, and then a year before that, during my studies, I was working. And Dave?
So I've actually enrolled into a sandwich year, so that means that you go out on placement for a year in the middle of your degree. So I started at the company I'm still currently working with part-time in 2021. So I've been in and out for 2 years now with them. Obviously, when I went back to uni last year, I was just doing part-time hours, and then I've been working over the summer now until I start my master's next year. So
Very cool. And see, when you guys were at school or college, did you ever envisage yourself in these roles?
Yeah, definitely. I knew I'd be in STEM from very early on, but I think I chose mechanical around 14. So since then, that was really what I wanted to go into.
Right.
yeah, and again, similar vein to Chris, I later on, probably not as early as 14, but I would always have envisaged myself in a STEM career, and engineering really just sort of showed up as like one of the best jobs that you could do in that background. So I just thought that any one of those engineering backgrounds would be a good one to go into, and I just landed on civil. So
Nice. Okay. So if you can put it together from Chris and David's descriptions of their jobs, today's topic is mechanical and civil engineering. How much energy do we need when working on site? Yeah, okay, well, I thought it was nice, but anyway. So typically for construction projects, there are many different fields that collaborate together. There's mechanical, electrical, civil, structural, and energy, and we all have one main goal of the project: to meet the client's objectives and designs. There's also a lot of external meetings, and we would run into each other often, where we get to learn a bit more about what each field is doing. So I'm a sustainability engineer, and I have limited working knowledge of what a day-to-day is like for other sectors, such as mechanical and civil. However, from my research online, the consensus seems to be that civil engineering, you have to love dealing with people, and to be a mechanical engineer, you have to love dealing with mechanical equipment. Can I get your guys' thoughts on that?
not true.
Really?
It very much depends. I think consulting, you deal with so many people. If you were to go into more of a manufacturing field, where working with CNC machines, maybe you'd work with more mechanical equipment, but consulting definitely so much to do with people.
It's funny that you say that civil, like you have to love dealing with people, because like me and Chris would talk a lot about work, and from what we chat about, she definitely deals with a lot more people than me, being the mechanical engineer.
Some days Dave doesn't talk to anybody else.
Yeah, some days it's just like you don't get a phone call at all. Like in my company, we don't really have that many sort of meetings. We work on a lot smaller scale niche projects than what Chris seems to be doing in the mechanical sector. It's like big projects where a lot's going on at once and people have to be kept in the loop. But
I think it depends though. So we're obviously in the building services sector, but Dave would be in geotechnics, so definitely differs.
Like it would still be on the same sites, obviously, as the sector, but it's very much disconnected from that, so you wouldn't need to know what's going on with the buildings around too much.
Yeah.
So that's where most of the correlation of a lot of different engineering backgrounds comes together in the building sector. But for us, because it's such a niche like outside area, we kind of don't have to interact as much with and get as much sort of collaboration between different companies. So like we don't talk to as many people as you would think, but I'm sure other civil projects like roads and bridges, there'd be a lot of collaboration with the people. But yeah,
my main takeaway, David, from that is that you're telling me Google's wrong. Okay.
Yeah, Google's wrong. Yeah, not reliable.
That's really great to hear, and it's great to hear. This is the reason why I wanted to like in few different branches, different sectors, to get an insight into the field, because I know so many people who are maybe 10 years into the energy field and they maybe don't even know how different sectors like interact. Like I kind of came from a practical side where we were installing renewables installation to the theoretical design side, and I have to say the jump was very different, and I wouldn't have known about like each sector if it existed or not. So it's really great to hear. But well, that's do you think like Kristen, like does that like mirror real life? Like you would be the more social, or would it be David, or like?
I think depends. I'd be more like professionally social. But Dave,
professional.
Dave's from a small town, and every person
Big city.
Small town.
Every person you run into where he's from,
you've known for 10 years.
You'll say hello to.
Yeah.
So Dave would be more social with more people, I'd say, if that makes sense.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Just when you're saying like, you're from a small town, it's like the reverse journey. It's not don't stop believing. Just a small town.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I know you guys talked a bit about your master's degrees in your introduction. Big props to you. I've done them.
Thank you.
Like I've done it before. It's hard. Can you think of anything in your jobs, any other sort of training or prep do you get for performing your roles?
Before starting the role?
Or during, like I know for us as sustainability engineers to become an energy assessor, we usually work for about a period of 2 years and then we go on to do the training or like the examination. But the likes of, say, chartership, or has that been talked about? Or
I mean, chartership for our industries comes a bit further down the line. I think minimum 5 years experience really before you become chartered. So yeah, you really just start into the job, and obviously you can start with graduate memberships in these, what would you call them?
like institution
Representatives.
Yeah.
For the engineering council, you start in sort of graduate memberships, and you start collecting your CPD, so continued professional development. You can start training. They have training on drainage, ventilation. Every little niche thing has its own.
And is this taken a lot from SIBSI guides and all? Yeah.
Yeah, it would. Often, when a new SIB IStructE guide comes out, when a new version comes out, they often have a lot of CPDs coming along with that, just to train the professionals in the new standards. So that's sort of the continued training. And then in-house, often they'll have training on, for example, we've had Revit training, we've had training on specific boilers, and that going on from the senior engineers. So yeah.
Well, sounds like a really great company you work for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, dude, what about yourself? So I know you're still studying at the minute.
Yes. Yeah.
And like in your role now, like would they be sending you for any I don't know, like you guys have civil engineers would have an institution as well.
The Institute of Civil Engineers. It's essentially the same thing as the IStructE.
Oh, right.
Which is another one, which for structural engineers. But yeah, I mean, like there's loads of good stuff on their website, and you can be a member the whole time you're at university for free. And like they have a weekly paper and loads of information that you can just get for free, essentially, if you're a student. Also, I mentioned briefly before about the sandwich year. I think that's a really good way of getting some experience before going into your actual role, because you get a whole year of working in an actual engineering company.
Yeah, it's always different than when you're studying.
Yeah, like the university is great for learning stuff, but it's so broad that you kind of get lost a little bit in what you want to do. So in my bachelor's, there was 6 modules every year, and the job I'm in at the minute really only covers one of those modules. So you kind of get an idea of how broad university is, and then you can go into a company and kind of get lost because you only know the basics of something. So it's always good to, I think, get that year experience while you're studying as well.
Definitely, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Like, I did a year experience and it just opened my eyes. I was like, oh, this is actually engineering. Okay.
Absolutely. And it's so much different in industry, interacting with contractors, interacting with your seniors. It's not like you're working alone like you would do while you're studying. And everything's a lot more broad. There's never a final answer for anything. There's just, what's the better, more efficient, more time efficient solution. So it is different to studying for sure.
I like what you said there, because I feel like it helps, and it also helps like when you're talking to those people, build your confidence for when you're talking to them next time.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially at such a young age, the sandwich year is such a good idea.
Yeah. And companies are usually very good with their students. Like if they take you on, they want you to be there, and they're going to help you out, and they're not going to have you doing stuff that isn't of benefit to you. So, it is a good way to get some experience.
That's good, and like definitely I could see like you in the position now, like you doing your sandwich year, like with that. I know a lot of people who maybe studied mechanical engineering and they never did a placement or never had any experience, and they even did a master's in it as well, and they're actually in something completely different now. I think they're in data. So it just goes to show, like, it really just like puts it into perspective. Oh, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like too many, like there's been, well, definitely in my time, not too sure now. I need to get more research out there. But say in my time, the amount of people that maybe 2 years in, they realized I've made a mistake. And it's like you've realized 2 years in, and you might feel like you're stuck in this career for the next 20 years and being happy for a job.
Like that happened to a guy that went on the placement to the same company as I did the same year. He done the year placement, sort of thought, don't know if I'm sure on this, and is doing a different thing now. So didn't waste an extra 2 years doing something that they didn't like. So
but the option's always open to switch even once you've started. People with the BEng already have switched to teaching and ended up working more in an engineering sort of subject within teaching, so you can always switch it. I think feeling like you're stuck in your 20s is bit of a broad statement, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. And like my perspective is always, if I'm going to be doing this for the next 30 years, I want to enjoy it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Before we move on to our next section, Kristen, interesting fact about you. You immigrated here from South Africa.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and now you're a mechanical engineer.
Mhm.
With mechanical engineers, you guys design a lot of systems, especially in buildings, such as the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, hot water. I could go on, but I'm not. Like, it's a lot of lists. Okay.
Yeah.
But what were the big changes to you moving over here and looking at this work?
I think the main difference, before I would have been working in more industrial systems, and now I'm working more residential, so apartment blocks and that sort of thing. So, the standards are quite different between industrial and residential, and because obviously it's a living space, so they're a lot stricter on insulation and heating. And the biggest change, I think, going from South Africa to here is the heating systems in buildings, because we don't have integrated heating in South Africa. So that would have been a major change to get used to, and it's something that's standard within residential units. So that just paired with freezing. We've never considered freezing in Joburg, no less. So
Joburg.
Yeah.
I forgot that's what you call it, Joburg.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so nice. Yeah.
But South Africa, a lot of the standards are taken from a combination of British and American standards, so they wouldn't have been too far off working with the governmental standards. So
Okay.
yeah.
And David, you immigrated from Coleraine.
That's correct.
Like,
Whole hour down the road.
yeah, like different world. No, it's lovely up there.
No, it is. Before I go back home, and then everyone's like really mad at me.
Yeah, you get
Just
shunned.
listen to this.
You get shunned out of town.
No,
it's like we heard the podcast. We were the 20 viewers.
Yeah, nobody says hello to him when he left.
Cut that out.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, now we're going to move on to our next section. This is a bit where I ask you guys some questions or just ask for estimated guesses. And each episode, I tailor this section and I just gather some research and I try to call it a different name each time. So this week's name, it's called Let's Keep It Civil with These Mechanical Issues.
Very good.
I like, you know what? I did look up civil mechanical jokes and there's not a lot out there, guys.
No, I think keeping it civil is the best one you can guess.
Okay. Well, yes. So I'm going to spit some facts at you from statista.co.uk.
Oh, very sure.
Just so you know, this is legit. Okay, well, I'm going to ask for some guesses. Okay, from data taken in 2022, how many civil engineers do you think there are in the UK?
In the whole UK?
In the whole of the UK.
I'm going to say...
I'll give
How
you...
many people are there in the whole UK? just first off.
You carry the one.
Yeah, carry the one. I'll give you a clue, okay? It's in the tens of thousands.
Oh, I would say about 20,000. What's your guess?
I think it'll be like kind of high. Because there's so many different regions that civil covers. I'm going to say 50,000.
Okay, well, the actual answer is 92,000.
Wow.
Yes. And
That's a few.
Yeah. And did you know this is an 8% increase from 2010 figures? So we can either chalk that up to a population boom or more people are entering the field of civil engineering.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the same website, what do you think the figure is for mechanical engineers?
I feel like there are actually more mechanical engineers.
Okay,
I'm going to say 120.
120,000, okay.
I've got to stick to my guns and say that we outrank. There's more of us than you. So, I'm going to go, I still think it's going to be high though. Maybe 85,000.
Okay. Well, this website states there is 55,000 as of 2022.
Only 55.
Yeah.
Okay.
And did you know this is a 33% decrease from figures taken in 2010?
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, the mech engineers, they're feeling it. They're feeling the pressure.
Oh no. Well, we're in high demand then.
Yeah, yeah. But yes, well, as we stated before, well, sorry, before I move on to the next bit. Oh no, I suppose I can wrap this into the let's keep it civil round. Okay, well, the built environment, geotechnical, that would kind of maybe be covered underneath it. The built environment, like when you're
Kind of, yeah.
we kind of deal with landscaping a lot as
Oh,
well.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, we do a lot of slope stability and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay, well, so this question does still apply to you, okay? How much percentage of carbon emissions do you think the built environment contributes to the UK?
Oh, loads.
I will accept, yeah, percentage.
Can we both answer this?
You can answer at the same time and like make it.
Loads wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 35%.
Okay.
So built environment, are we including both commercial and residential?
Yep.
I think about 45 to 50%.
Wow. Okay, guys, it is 40%.
Nice.
So
Okay.
that was good. If it took an average, like you guys would be right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And did you know that the construction sector alone contributes 11% to global carbon emissions?
My word.
Yeah, it's a big industry to be in, but yeah. So that's the end of that section.
It's just taking a minute to take it all in.
Oh, but that's brilliant. Well, before we wrap up, guys, do you have any advice for future prospective engineers looking to get into the construction or geotechnical sector?
Well, I'd say definitely do a shadow time. I know in high school here, secondary school.
Yeah, secondary school you do like a week's work experience.
Yeah, you do a week's work experience.
Yeah.
So, definitely, if there's any field that you're interested in, go to that company, find someone that you can shadow.
Even if it's just to try it out, because you could do that week and again, as you say, like work out it's not for you. So
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And did you guys do like this week's work experience at your like secondary schools or?
No, it's not. It's not really a thing, especially where I'm from. So
I did. Yeah, I went into the roadworks.
So it was civil.
It was civil, but it was a different area to what I'm in now.
Do you know where mine was? It was a vet. And now I'm here.
yeah, you worked out it wasn't.
Yeah. Even when I was there, I described to them what I wanted to do. I think it was like work with animals in South Africa, like, and they're like, and they're just like, why are you here? Why are you not at a zoo? I'm like, this is my house, okay?
My mom had to drive me.
Yeah. Can we put? Yeah, no. Like we won't break. I might record that later and then like split it in at the end. Like I've got a story for you guys.
That's pretty awesome.
But yeah, like so, David, would you share that advice? Like definitely a shadow week. Like
like that's a great idea to do like a week's work experience somewhere where you think you'd be interested in. I've been banging on about this sandwich year, which is a great idea too, to go in and do a year's experience.
Yeah, and I think if there's any degree that you want to pursue, universities normally have descriptions on every single module throughout all the 3 to 4 years. So honestly, just go to the university websites, check out some degrees, and see if the modules excite you really. All of them, it's normally a paragraph to 2 paragraphs. So
there's a lot of university open days as well. They do that's really good, and what they call it? They're like fairs. Like I know Queen's does one anyway, and schools will usually take you to these, but if they don't, I think they do like week-long ones, and they are at the weekend if you don't get the chance to go during the week with school.
Yeah. I mean, I'll plug University of Pretoria here. They have something called EBIT Week, so it's engineering and built environment and IT. And
Wow.
you go in for, I think it's 4 days, and you stay in some of the reses there, and they take you through each
You're gonna have to explain what a res is.
residence, so like uni halls, and they take you through each engineering field, and then as well as IT, and then the built environment, so it would be architectural and mining. So definitely see if local universities around have an introduction week. So.
Okay, nice, brilliant. Yeah, that's great, guys. Okay, well, my advice is always be civil when looking at the mechanical. Not like, inspiring or groundbreaking, because I kind of reuse that.
No jokes on mine.
Well, I liked when I first messaged you guys about last night when I sent the clip to this, you mentioned a title, and it was like Enya and the Dynamos.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dynamos, Dynamos, that's some sort of, I think that's electrical engineering, but like I can make it work.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can make it work.
Give me half an hour and access to Bain, okay.
Well, you might not always be a fan of the studies, but you gotta get your ducks in a row.
I fainted, like, oh my goodness. That is so, you did your research.
Yeah.
That was the one prerequisite. David, do you
Look, I'm letting the team down. I didn't realize this was a whole thing. She's already taken the only civil joke.
Flocculator.
But that's like signing off. And no one's gonna know what a flocculator is. So
Yeah, do you know what that is?
No. But it's like fuck you later, like, yeah.
I see you later, flocculator.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you end the podcast there.
Yeah,
On that note, and then you'll never have any more podcasts after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You'll never listen again.
That's it. And it's like, well, groundbreaking sign off, like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here, I'll do the sign off now, and then you can, jump in at the end, like, yeah, guys.
I can sign off the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna plug the Instagram first, and then.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay. Well, yeah, brilliant, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. It was really great having you.
Yeah.
And very, very insightful talk, and I hopefully people know more than they did when they first started listening. So thanks for listening to Carbon Cli-MATES. If you follow us on Instagram at carbon_Cli-MATES, all links to our recordings and news about future episodes will be there. So yeah, guys, see you next time. Bye.
It's my time to shine.
It's your time to shine.
Oh, good. See you later, flocculator.
Brilliant.